The text arrived without a greeting, without punctuation that suggested a question. It felt less like a message and more like a notification from a system that had already decided. I want a 2,000 new phone. You'll upgrade me. I read it twice, not because it was confusing, but because it was familiar, the certainty. The assumption that my role was fixed and renewable, like a subscription no one remembered signing up for. I typed no chance and sent it before I could soften it into something that sounded like negotiation. I didn't add an explanation. I didn't offer alternatives. I set the phone down and went back to chopping onions for dinner. 3 minutes later, my sister wrote, "Agree or you're banned from family events." The word banned always made me think of school assemblies and cafeteria rules. It was a strange choice for a grown woman with 2 kids and a mortgage. But it was effective. It had worked before. I stood there, knife paused midair, and felt the familiar pressure bloom, belonging leveraged against compliance. I could already see the future if I gave in the phone paid for. The next emergency queued up, the unspoken understanding that refusal would always be framed as betrayal. I didn't respond. That night, after the dishes were done and the house had gone quiet, I opened my banking app. The car payment sat there, scheduled for the morning. I stared at it longer than I expected to. Not because I was angry, anger would have made this easy, but because I knew exactly what undoing it would mean. I thought about the first time I'd helped. It had been practical, temporary. She'd been overwhelmed, she said. I believed her. Then it became routine, then invisible. The help stopped being help the moment it stopped being named. I reversed the transfer. The confirmation screen blinked politely. No drama. No warning about consequences. Just a digital acknowledgement that the action was complete. I went to bed with my phone face down. At 6:41 a.m. it buzzed once. At 6:43 again. By 7:22. I made coffee. I watched the steam rise and disappear. I felt oddly steady, like a knot that had been tightening for years, had finally loosened enough to breathe. I didn't call back right away. Recalibrating. Why would you do this now? I waited a beat. Because you told me to agree or be banned. I said, so I chose. There was a pause. Not silence, breathing movement. The sound of a room that suddenly needed solutions. You're being dramatic, she said, but the word didn't carry. I'm being consistent, I replied. This affects the kids, she said quickly. You know that. I did know. That knowledge had kept me compliant longer than I liked to admit. I also knew that weaponizing it had been her move, not mine. You threatened access to family over a phone, I said. I'm not funding ultimatums. Her voice softened, just a notch. We were joking. I thought about the messages, the capital letters, the speed of escalation. It didn't sound like a joke, I said. She exhaled sharply. So what, you're just done helping? I'm done being told, I said. There's a difference. The call ended without a conclusion. There wasn't one to reach. The next few days were quiet in the way aftermath often is, people adjusting their expectations without announcing it. My mother texted once, careful and indirect. Is everything okay? I replied that it was. She didn't ask follow-ups. Family events came and went on the calendar. I wasn't explicitly banned. I also wasn't invited. The ambiguity felt intentional, a holding pattern meant to see if I'd blink. I didn't. A week later, my sister called again. This time her tone was different, measured, almost professional. We're restructuring some things, she said. Figuring it out? I'm glad, I replied. She hesitated. About the phone? No, I said gently. Another pause. Then, quieter. Okay. When we hung up, I sat with the mixed feeling that followed, loss without catastrophe, relief without celebration. I hadn't won anything. I just stopped losing in small, accumulating ways. I still see my nephew. He didn't get the phone. He adapted faster than anyone. Kids usually do. The family events are different now, smaller for me, less frequent. When I'm there, I'm present without being useful. It's an adjustment on both sides. Setting boundaries didn't make me the hero of the story. It didn't fix the relationships. It did something quieter. It made the terms visible. And once you can see the terms, you don't pretend they're gifts anymore.